Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuchsa with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Happy New Year to you. Hope you guys are starting off this new 2018 with a bang. I really look forward to talking to you guys a couple times a week about things that have to do with real estate, maybe some things that aren't specifically with buying and selling a home or refinancing your home, but maybe some things that are connected to it. I like to talk about things that you have questions about. So if you have questions about stuff, bring that up. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what you're thinking about. Let me know what you don't understand, because if you have a question about it, more than likely someone else out there does too. So this is something that was a recurring thing that came up a lot in 2017, and I think it's just going to continue to gain steam. It has to do with your cash. And, I really want you to understand that your money that you need for closing, or that you're going to be getting from closing, this is one of the biggest investments you make in your life, whether it's your first home or your 10th home. Every time you do it, it's still the biggest asset that you own, unless you are really good about saving. You're a little bit farther along in your life and you have a really good savings account. Otherwise, this is probably the biggest investment and the biggest thing you're going to do with your cash in your lifetime. So you want to make sure that cash is protected. You want to make sure that someone else doesn't intercept your money. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to them, because you accidentally wired your money to the wrong place. And you would be shocked how easy this can happen. But it isn't even because you may do something incorrectly. It could very well be that someone, a fraudulent person out there, someone who's figured out by sitting in their mom's basement in their pajamas on the computer how to steal your money through the internet. It sounds complicated, but it really isn't. Because title companies have so much cash going through their accounts, because we take all the money in from closing, from the buyers, from the mortgage company, maybe from the sellers, maybe from the real estate agent, all the money that is needed at the closing, we take all of that money in and then pay out all of the costs with it. We pay the seller, we pay the mortgage company's fees, we pay the real estate agents for their time and their expenses, we pay the inspections that are done. So all the things that go into buying and selling that home that you're transferring or that you're buying goes through the title company. And because of that, title companies are an area that those people that are trying to fraudulently take our money are targeting, because there's so much money that goes in and out of there. And it may not be the title company that has a area that's vulnerable. It may be someone that's talking to the title company through email. Now, your email may seem like, wow, we all love our email because it's so easy to use. You can get in, send a message to one or several people all at one time. You don't have to worry about picking up the phone. They can receive it whenever they're available. And so it's a great tool for communication, but it's not a great tool for communication about financial situations. And most title companies, if not all, use encrypted sites. And so they're pretty well taken care of as far as making sure that no one can get into the email that they're sending. But here's what happens. There's a lot of other ways that they can get into an email that the title company may not even know that that email chain has been hacked. And here's some thoughts about that. So, I talked about this a little bit in 2017, but I really want you guys to understand how serious this is. So if there's an email group, let's say, between the buyer and the real estate agent for the buyer and the title company, and one of those areas is not encrypted, is not protected, that's ripe for picking. So if you are a buyer and you are sending an email to a title company, make sure it does not include any financial information. And I'm not just talking about your bank account numbers. I'm talking about some trigger words, like how much cash do I need for closing? Like how much is it going to cost me? Some of these things are triggers that actually are red flags to someone out there who's looking to get in and hack an email chain. And then what will happen is, if that is in the subject line, they see that and say, oh, well, this is an email chain I want to get into, and I want to divert those emails. So what will happen is they will then somehow, and I'm not smart enough to understand all of that through the internet world, but they will somehow backdoor into our email loop that we're talking about, and they will start acting as if they are you, telling me what to do, where to send the money, or vice versa. They may email you pretending to be me and telling you where to wire funds for your closing. So here's what I want to tell you. Not everybody has access to encrypted email. Not everybody has the ability to do those kind of things. But when you're talking about funds, you're talking about how much money do I need to send you, or here's where to send my money, or anything that has to do with money, wire, finances, costs, pick up the phone. You can email, but if somebody sends you some instructions on where to send money, you better call and make sure that those instructions are correct, because there is a really strong possibility that they may not be. And you may think that you can spot that fraudulent email. And I'm here to tell you that it is so good. They are so good about intercepting that and then sending that, and it really looks like the person that's sending it. It's happened in some transactions we've had recently, several different times, and it's been different people in the transaction that somehow they were able to get into the chain and pretend like they were that person when they really weren't. And so because one little typo or one little thing said to one of our team members, hey, this doesn't exactly make sense, or this isn't what they told me before, and every time we do an email that talks about funding, we always call to verify. If you send us information and you want us to send money somewhere for you, if you're the seller or you're a realtor or the lender or even the buyer and you're due some money back, we're going to call and verify that. We also are not going to include the words wire or funds or anything that has to do with money in that subject line or in that body of that email, because those are triggers and flags that cause someone else to look and say, oh, well, this might be an email chain I want to get into, so I can divert the money. Because we've seen it in seconds. As soon as you hit that send button, it's gone to Africa, to China. It's not coming back. And we're not talking about $10, $100, $1,000. We're talking about $20,000 to $100,000. Your money that you may be getting from closing or that you owe for your closing is very susceptible to these kind of things. So I always caution you, if you're going to do an email that talks about these things, pick up the phone and call the company or the person that you're dealing with. Physically verify that that information is correct. And make sure you're using a phone number that you got from that person before this email chain. Don't use a phone number that somebody gave you in the email chain, because more than likely that's also not the person that you're supposed to be speaking with. So use the phone number out of a email signature, or out of when you first started talking to the company or the person and you got that person's information initially, or a phone number that someone physically gave you that is not in an email chain. Do not use a phone number that you're calling somebody to verify through an email chain, because we want to make sure that your funds stay in your pocket or go to buy your house where you're expecting them to happen, not go somewhere else and fund somebody else's Merry Christmas or Happy New Year that you know nothing about. So just a little food for thought. It happens a lot when we're dealing with real estate closings because of the amount of money that's going through the system. So make sure you're asking those questions. And if you have questions, ask your real estate professional, ask your mortgage person, ask your title company, reach out to anybody at our team, www.foottetitlegroup.com. If you go onto our team page, everybody on our team has a lot of experience about this. We talk about this every single month, and we'd love to help you or answer questions about it for you. If you have questions on anything with regard to real estate in Maryland or Virginia, we can help you with that as well. But this thing that I'm talking about with this funds is countrywide. This is happening all over the country. We hear about it every day. So this isn't specific to the areas that Foote Title Group is licensed to do closings. This is across the country. So talk to your title company. Ask the questions. Pick up the phone. Don't be afraid, or don't rely on the email, because if you get lazy and rely on that email and your money's gone, it's your own fault, and you need to really be aggressive about this and protect your funds. So hopefully I helped you with maybe something that's a question. I know I'm a little bit early today. New year, new start, all kinds of crazy things going on. We are blazing new trails, both at Foote Title Group and through ConnieFuchsa.com. So I want you guys to be on the lookout for stuff. We have a new flyer that's coming out today that's buying a resale home versus buying a new home, the goods and bads about those two things. Those are on our website under helpful links, either the buyer or the seller or the realtor tab. There's all kinds of resources on our website, www.foottetitlegroup.com. And if you go on there and you sign up for our email, we promise not to spam you, but you won't miss any of this information. So if I helped you today, please click that share button. I'd love for you to share for those that you know that I don't. Maybe we can help them get good information. And I hope you guys have an amazing start to your new year. And I'll talk to you again really soon. I'm Connie Fuchsa with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Thanks for tuning in to Coffee with Connie, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now.